Hello there, dear viewers. Today we are here to roast a man that, unfortunately, many of you are familiar with. His name is Matt Guion, and he recently hit the 2,000 subscriber mark on his YouTube channel, BangGeek8408. So we've made this roast to celebrate his accomplishments. We have several people here roasting Matt today. I'd like to start off with Cassie, Matt's baby sister. Like all healthy sibling relationships, Cassie and Matt exist in a constant state of friendly rivalry. They're always trying to outdo one another, who's more intelligent, who's more well-read, blah-de-blah-de-blah-de-blah. You know, Cassie, I really have to ask you, who is more pathetic? The guy who spends all of his free time making YouTube videos, or the girl who spends all of her free time trying to one-up the guy who spends all his free time making YouTube videos? But you know what? Far be it from me to pass judgment on somebody who once wrote a 20-page paper on Neville Longbottom. We also have Matt's younger brother, what's his name? Yes, Jeffrey Guion, the runt of the litter, if you will. I know I'm supposed to make fun of him, but to tell you the truth, I kind of feel bad for the guy. I mean, come on, he looks like an abused shelter dog. Making fun of this kid is like kicking a hobo. I mean, it's probably a little bit entertaining at first, but it just starts to get sad and depressing after a while. What is there to be gained by making fun of someone who already looks like life has just defeated them at every turn? And speaking of people nobody cares about, I'd like to direct your attention to Alicia. Alicia is Matt's girlfriend. I'm sorry, I can't say the phrase Matt's girlfriend without laughing. You know, these two once made a video together on their 6-month anniversary recounting the story of how they started dating. Let me tell you something, guys. The 6-month anniversary of another couple is just about the most ass-numbingly boring topic for a video I could possibly think of. On the totem pole of giving a crap, it's just below Stephenie Meyer's writing career and just above whatever Kim Kardashian had for breakfast this morning. I honestly don't know how you can date this girl, Matt. The Queen of Narnia was less frigid. Dolores Umbridge was a more comforting presence. But now, of course, we must move on to the man of the hour, Matt Guion himself. This guy is a very avid YouTuber. He participates in no less than 5 separate channels. Well, actually, it's more like 4, ever since the rest of the Shinies decided they'd much rather let the channel die a slow, agonizing death than continue to interact with Matt. No joke, at one point Matt got so desperate for human interaction that he structured an entire plot point around not shutting the hell up and moving on until all the Shinies made at least one more video. That is a whole new kind of lonely, people. And really, it's more like 3 channels because, I mean, come on, don't call me E.T. as a frickin' joke. But he's not just a YouTuber, of course. He's got a Twitter account, he's on Dailybooth, he's on VYou, he's even got his own website, italkstuff.com. Matt, you've got your hands in so many different things on the internet. You're like YouPorn. And just like YouPorn, everybody who watches you is ashamed to admit it. But in all seriousness, Matt, you're a hell of a guy. You're not just one of my favorite YouTubers, Matt, you're one of my favorite people. You've done some great things and you deserve every single ounce of success that comes your way. Matt, this is the honest truth. There's a reason you have almost 6 times as many subscribers as I do. Not that I'm bitter. Well, I think that's quite enough of that, so let's move on to some of our other roasters, shall we? Coming now to your computer screen for your viewing pleasure, I would like to introduce you all to Matt's baby sister, Cassie.
Alright, first off, Jessie. Jessie, the mastermind and organizer behind this whole scheme. Jessie and I go way back even further than Jessie and Matthew, believe it or not. Jessie, do you remember those good old days back in the honors program? You know, when I was an honors fellow, and you were the subject of many honors fellows meetings as we tried to figure out what we could do to convince you and your group of friends to sleep in the dorm rooms you'd paid thousands of dollars for and not in, you know, the public lounge? Seriously though, can you explain the appeal to me? I mean, the loft was nice and it was air conditioned and I guess that explains some of it, but spending every waking moment there and no small few of your non-waking moments? It's a little weird. Then we come to Alicia. Alicia, what can I say? I don't know. I really don't. I mean, you're dating Matthew. So first of all, that's punishment enough. And second of all, I'm sorry, too easy. Yeah, obligatory judgment call comment from boyfriend sister is obligatory. Then we have Jeffrey. Jeffrey, my dear little brother, and oh boy, have I got stories to tell about you. Oh, let's see. Pole on the piano, Tonka truck, and that day in church, and this and this, and the hair, and the hair, and I'm sorry, Hobo Caveman Jesus. There's just too much and we don't have the time. Come back when you have 2,000 subscribers. Then we'll talk. And now for Matthew, the man of the hour. Matthew, you're my big brother. And when Jessie floated this idea and asked if I wanted to be involved, I almost said no. Because being siblings means something. And why dig up the ancient past just to make you look foolish in front of all of your fans? But then I thought, no, you know what? I have an obligation because I'm your sister. These 2,000 people who have decided to follow you need to know what kind of individual they're getting themselves involved with. Our growing up years were tumultuous at best. No one can deny that. We fought like cats and dogs. I used to bite you. You hit me in the head with a golf club. So, equal blow for blow. You say that I was the physically violent one, but I never landed you in the emergency room. Just saying. But to be fair, that was an isolated incident and an accident. And it was the only one, though if I'd made any sudden movements during that impromptu haircut you decided to give me when I was 18 months old and you were 5, we could have had a different outcome on our hands. But really, in spite of those few occasions, your love for me was made clear from early on. From the time when you started asking Mom 2 weeks after I'd been born if it was time to take me back to the hospital yet. Like I was some kind of library book that you would get a fine for not returning. And that show of love and respect for me continued into our childhood and adolescence. Never so evident as the time when you cast me as the character Stupid and yourself as the character Genius in your self-written and directed film, The Big Bad Baby. But that's ancient history. It's in the past. Do I bring it up? Not nearly as often as I used to. The point is we were kids, but we grew up and we changed and our relationship evolved. And we realized that we had things we could teach each other. I mean, you taught me how to verbally spar. And I was able to teach you that foist was actually, no, seriously, Matthew, I can show you in this dictionary, an actual word. When you were a freshman in college and I was a sophomore in high school. No, I'm not saying that I'm smarter than you, big brother. I'll let the ACT scores, high school and college GPAs, and the fact that I never failed an English class speak for themselves. Like I said, we've had things to teach each other, and I think I can safely say that we did eventually become friends when you moved away to college and I didn't have to see your face every day. And now you're 27 and making videos on YouTube, and I gotta say, Matthew, you've done pretty well for yourself. I'm your sister, and I've got your back. And that means that I will never willingly embarrass you in front of an audience of thousands unless somebody asks me to with a really good reason or offers to pay me. And I will never post embarrassing childhood videos of you on the internet, like you playing FDR when your voice hadn't quite changed, or the aforementioned Big Baby video, unless I can be 100% assured that I have been edited out of said videos, in which case that's going up on the internet like that. And I will never try to take over your channel and steal your subscribers unless you've already written it into a script for me. In all seriousness, congratulations. And what I'm about to say, I don't say very often, so listen up and pay attention. Just like juggling, solving Rubik's Cubes, writing compelling literary arguments, and anything that has to do with music, excepting possibly those things involving a French horn, you are better at this than I am. And as a favor to you, I will even refrain here from making the comment that those things are so few and far between that we have to make note of them when we can, and damn it! Sorry, just slipped out. But seriously, you've worked hard to get here, and it shows. I am proud to be your little sister. Here's to 2,000 more, 'cause I guess you deserve them and stuff. That's all I got!
Well, wasn't that special. Moving right along, if Matt and Cassie are Frodo and Sam, you know there's gotta be a Smeagol. Here he is, everyone, Matt's younger brother, Jeffrey.
Hello, everybody. Well, we all know why we're here tonight. Or this morning, or this afternoon, whenever you're watching this. We are here to roast Matthew Todd Guion. First of all, I want to thank Jesse for putting all this together. Now, Jesse, I never really got to know you when you were here at Bowling Green, mostly because we overlapped for like a year or two. But still, I watch your videos, and probably one of the most amusing things that I've seen you do is review drinks. I find this amusing simply because it's always a mystery whether or not you're going to like it. And it's almost something of a twist ending when it turns out that you do. Yeah, I like it. Alicia, I've known you for about 2 years now. one thing I've noticed about you is that you have a tendency to gloss over some of your other talents and act like they don't exist. Yeah, I'm not really much of a singer, so I'm probably not going to end up singing in choir. I don't think I'd be good at it. You did a pretty good job singing this song with us. I think you're a good singer. No, I'm really not. I'm not that good. I don't know if I should be in bell choir. I really don't think I'm doing that good a job. I should just quit. You should just fire me. You made like 3 mistakes there. You did fine. No, I didn't do a good job. I don't know why you let me in here. Cassie, my dear sister. I've known you for about 20 years now, and I feel as though I need to tell you something that's important. Not everything is a competition. I just have this image in my head of Cassie sitting in her apartment and thinking to herself, my roast is so totally going to be better than Jeffrey's. It doesn't have to be like that, Cassie. You don't have to turn everything into a competition between yourself and me, or, as is most often the case, yourself and Matthew. Speaking of Matthew, he's actually the subject of this roast. So, 2,000 subscribers. It's quite an accomplishment. You've come quite some way in 3 years. And I do marvel at your abilities sometimes, but I think the ability that I most marvel at is your ability to be angry at anything. And I mean anything. You'd be walking along, trip over a curb, you just turn around and start yelling at the curb, because obviously it's the curb's fault. Or you're walking along and there's an ant walking across your path and you start yelling at it because it's in your way. You have this wonderful ability to just get angry at things, and it's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. Now I know that quite a lot of anger stems from stress, and I understand that, but here's the thing. A lot of the stress that you have, you pile on yourself. Let's see. Okay, I got a production of Oklahoma that I'm a part of. I'm doing NaNoWriMo. There's also that whole candy making thing. Yeah, I can totally run for King of the Web, that's fine. And, I mean, good, you admitted that you were crazy for doing that, which is good. I mean, the first step is admitting that you have a problem. But in the end, Matthew, and yes, this is going to be the sappy part, so bear with me. You're my brother. I'm not going to deny the fact that a lot of what I do has, in fact, been inspired by you. In the end, I think I'm proud to have you as my brother. So, yeah. Yeah. I've never been very good with endings.
Wasn't he delightful, everyone? Incidentally, Jeffrey, thanks for cleaning yourself up for the roast. Seriously, dude, I got a wide tooth comb right here. They're not that hard to find. Just saying. And finally, we have Alicia, Matt's special lady of choice. You might say these two have a lot of chemistry together, like what happens when you drop raw sodium into a bucket of water. Ladies and gentlemen, Alicia.
Alright, Jesse, I would like to thank you for organizing this roast. I'm greatly looking forward to cracking a bunch of jokes at Matt's expense because, you know, we all know that he doesn't get that enough from me every day. So when we start out a roast, we're supposed to make fun of the other roasters, but truth be told, I'm really terrible at this sort of thing. Cassie, you had to grow up with Matt, which is punishment far worse than anything I could possibly say. But I can, however, tease you and Chase for the other month when you invited us to go out to dinner at Chili's. So Matt told me that you had invited us, and my first thought was, Cassie and Chase. Cassie and Chase don't have A, a driver's license, or B, a car, so they invited us to go get dinner with them, which is 20 minutes away from BG. Got it. You realize, Cassie, you are 23 years old, and generally you should have a license by now. But I'm just teasing, Cassie. It was for the kids. Jeffrey, you're such an odd duck that to make fun of you, it'd just be so mean. But I will brush and straighten your hair before the semester is over, and I will enjoy it. Jesse, you scared me as a freshman. That wasn't very nice. I'm not kidding. You're one of the lofties. You're always in the loft. You had the long hair. You're tall. You're a big guy. You're always wearing black. And I never saw you laughing or smiling, so you scared me. I mean, I was just a tiny little freshman. That's not nice. That's not cool, man. But you don't scare me anymore. So ha. Joke's on you. But now let me turn to the man of the hour. Mr. Matt Guion. Oh, where to start? There's just so many good things. Now I know making fun of you for taking too long to ask me out, that's an old joke. So, Nah. That won't work. Making fun of your insistence to clarify everything that you say when you leave modifiers dangling is much funnier in person. And I'm sure that all your subscribers only need to take one look at you to realize that your girlfriend can kick your butt. But I can make fun of you for so many other things, such as failing to be the dominant sibling. As a fellow older sibling, I have full right to make fun of you for this. Not only did you fail at asserting dominance over Cassie, you also never beat Jeffrey up. And then when Jeffrey got to college, you didn't take him to Poly Eyes. Come on, you know that it is like older sibling law that you must show your younger sibling all the cool things in life, and you didn't do that. Recently, the most ridiculous thing you've done is decide that, yeah, you'll support the Bengals because you like their fight song. Only you would choose a football team based upon their fight song. Gotta love the role reversals in this relationship. Matt, you know that I love the beard, but there's just sometimes, you know, you do need to trim it. You look just like a scruffy looking Nerf herder when you don't. So, like, actually right now, at the time that we're filming this, is one of those times. And the jokes, oh my goodness, your jokes. You, his subscribers, you have the grace of him editing himself before you hear his jokes. But knowing him IRL, we get to hear not only the good that you guys get to hear, we get to hear the bad, and we most frequently hear the ugly. And then he cracks himself up with these awful jokes, and you just can't help but laugh out of pity. You feel bad for him. Now, as you all know, this is a roast, so I may have exaggerated a few points. Matt, you're a wonderful person, you're my best friend, and I am so very happy to be with you. And I've admitted it before, and I'll admit it again, yeah, most of your jokes actually are pretty funny. I just give you the reaction that you want, just so that way you'll laugh even more. Matt, congratulations on reaching 2,000 subscribers. You've earned it, you deserve it, and there's only room to keep going up, in which you most definitely will. You have talent, and people need to be subscribing to you more often. So I know we're all having a lot of fun teasing you, but just keep being the wonderful you that you are, and I'm sure that I'll see you very soon. Love you, sweetie.
Sorry about that, I just threw up in my mouth a little bit. Well, dear viewers, that's all we have for this roast, but it's not quite done yet. For you see, at every roast, the guest of honor gets to fire back. Unfortunately, Matt isn't able to do that in this video because this roast is a surprise to him. So Matt, on behalf of everyone involved here, I would like to invite you to make a video of your very own in response to this roast. We've all had a lot of fun making fun of each other and you today, so why don't you tell us what you think? But until you have the chance to do so, I'd just like to close by saying thank you to everyone involved. I had a lot of fun putting this roast together, and Matt, we really hope you enjoy it. And until next time, everyone, we'll see you later.